I really fucking love snacks.
Hello and welcome to Snack Time. I'm your host, Lindsay Adams, and today we have a very special guest, Chicago native, known him for a bajillion years now.
Yeah.
Guys, please welcome Clark Jones.
Hey, everybody. I like to do this because we always wait to the end to say people's Instagrams and stuff. I say it at the beginning, at the Clark Jones, because motherfuckers stop listening. Before you even get to your tag. I'm at the Clark Jones on all social media.
Okay. I mean, actually, this is a really good test to see if this works better. I'll start at the top then too. Guys, follow, subscribe, share, tell your friends, leave reviews. That's important. And thank you for listening, and follow me on social media and Snack Time and Clark. And now you get to listen to this podcast, and this is the best part. So thank you for doing it. Remote from Chicago.
I'm glad we were able to randomly find each other again and say,
I know it feels very disjointed, like everything, and like friendships and relationships at this point feel very disjointed.
Yeah. Can I tell the viewers one of our initial meetings?
Yes.
Okay, so our initial meeting, this wasn't the first time. It's maybe I have this weird thing where I know the first time I meet everybody. But it was at Town Hall Pub.
Mm-hmm.
And this was years ago.
Yeah.
So we had, I forget, I think we were at the Putterball Sister and Best-Selling show.
Yeah.
You walked in. This was many, many pounds ago too. So a guy very drunk. This is Boys Town, very gay neighborhood in Chicago. And you walk in, then I walk in behind you. And the guy's like, "Oh, you're with Six Eyes, aren't you?" And I'm like, "What?" He was like, "I just know black dudes love thick white women." And I was just so taken aback that I couldn't say anything because it wasn't a home game for me. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't be like, "Hey man, I want to set him straight," but he wasn't lying, but also wasn't with you. So I just kind of rolled with it. This was back before, and congratulations on sobriety and all of that. But this was, and I think you were Nick. This is like 15 years ago.
Yeah, this is like, yeah, no. And it's so funny because I didn't know that, but I love hearing that.
I was just
Town Hall Pub, though, that vibe, it was like when you walked in, drunk or not, you just said exactly what was on your mind at all times.
Just the smell of vodka-soaked carpeting, and just nostalgia. Is
yeah. I found a video recently of me at Town Hall Pub, like maybe one of my like third performances, and I was like, never will this see the light of day.
It was every guy's throwback, like no facial hair. This is before beards were cool, so like, just seeing all these dudes trying to look young. It was a time. It was a time had for anybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you and Will had your open mic, two black dudes and an open mic. And that was like one of the first open mics I went to also.
Yeah, man. A lot of people came through there. That was like Suba Agarwal. She used to do it. I'm like, you used to do two black dudes? She's like, yeah, I used to do it every month. And I was just like,
really?
I remember that. Yeah. Because she came up in Chicago. What? And I didn't even remember that, right? Because, yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense, though, because she's not to be a dick, she's a good comic and she has like good jokes. And I feel like Chicago breeds that. I'm the exception. I still don't know how to write a joke, but like I really...
Do you know Chicago or Jersey?
Chicago, because I didn't come up in New Jersey. I mean, like I try to like clarify because my personality is very New Jersey and it always has been. But like it's very East Coast. But like the comedy that I came up in is, and like what shaped my comedy has been Chicago, like through and through.
For sure. And your
So
boyfriend is from the Midwest, so you got all these influences.
yeah, exactly. So I feel like, and I lived there for like over a decade. So, or no,
Yeah.
maybe it was just a decade. So I felt like I felt Chicago, and all of you guys. I mean, like the people that like were around when I started comedy, a huge majority are still like involved and like successful and doing
Yeah.
shit, and it's dope.
And then in any city, Atlanta, New York, LA, wherever, Chicago just carves out real estate. And you're a part of the real estate of LA, Chicago. So
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it's really I was at a party recently, and it was a bunch of Chicago people, and it was Megan's baby shower.
Mm.
And it was a shit ton of people, and it was just like wild to look around and see everybody like not like all these people who have been like sitting on the floor wasted at Town Hall Pub now like chasing children across.
I mean, just chasing while pregnant. Like chasing their firstborn with their second or thirdborn inside of them. It's like,
I know, it's so wild. It's so wild to be like, yeah, anyway, like seeing Will with his daughter, and like it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre, but I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
catch up one day. We're the last holdouts. We're the no children.
I know. I know. It's like something will, yeah. I mean, we're like the weird, we'll be, I was texting someone the other day, and I was like, I just want to be clear. I am always willing to be the childless adult at a children's party.
Are you committed to not having kids?
No, I want to have kids. I just like don't want to be in a 1-bedroom apartment when I do. So it's like,
Sure.
There's like a threshold that I think is approaching, I hope, where it's like once I cross over that, I think that like I'll feel more comfortable like actually like having kids. Whereas like right now, I'm still just like deep in hustle, and
I don't want to do that to a kid.
Yeah, that exactly. Also, because like I mean, like I feel like I don't want to be resentful. I don't want them to feel that fear of them holding me back.
Right. Oh yeah.
I don't want, like, I really don't want them to
for asking for milk. It's like, oh man, this is drink ticket money you could be getting.
I know. Or like be like, do you want to like, oh, are you gonna come to my like recital? And I'm like, who fucking cares about your recital? I have to go prepare.
You could be at 208 Fest right now.
Exactly. And so I just don't want to be that person. I want to be like really content with as much as possible.
Yeah, like the freedom to say no to industry stuff is very important. And I think it's some things I turn down anyway without a kid, but like I'm gonna be able to like, nah, I'm good tonight on that, and like not in the babysitter and all the other stuff.
Yeah, and you have to kind of have a certain level of establishment too, where you're getting spots, and it's like,
right,
you have a kid, like you either make it clear you have a babysitter for the night, or you're like, I'm doing a spot, and then I gotta go.
Yeah. And babies need snacks, which is why we're here today.
Exactly. Sorry. I mean, we really listen. It's okay to go down memory lane for a moment, but no, I mean, childhood snacks. Listen, nostalgia is the core of this podcast, so we can go into any generation of nostalgia. But specifically, I asked what your favorite childhood snack was, of course. And you initially said oatmeal cream pies, which I vetoed because Solomon Giorgio chose that.
Yeah. It also is my current favorite snack. So it's kind of like, yeah. And here's the thing, I'm very specific in that. I don't like the jumbo ones that you get from like Ben's Club. It's just too much. It's got that mini oatmeal cream pie is the perfect size snack for me. So it comes with oatmeal cream pies come with a little bit of pre things that I can't have. But the snack I did choose is perfect. And it's
The one you chose is perfect because I've talked a lot about blow pops on this podcast. So blue raspberry blow pop was
Blue
what
Razz.
you chose.
Yeah.
Blue Razz, which is fucking, I mean, so give me the backstory in terms of like where this sat in your childhood after school snack. Like, what are we looking at? Corner store.
Food deserts and just corner stores. Growing up in the 90s on the south side of Chicago, very unhealthy because I remember when Blue Razz came out. It had to be like 1993.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember it was like crack. When it came, and I don't mean that like in a like a hyper way. Like it really, you had to have these things when they came out. It was like hot cheese doodles and a Blue Razz sucker was just everything. And it was a symbol of like being cool. Like you just had your Blue Razz. And in the tradition of all lollipops, like the gum, how can they make the gum better? The gum was just how is it the longevity? Maybe because it's all, rubber and, blue number 3 or whatever. But like the gum, I wish they made a lollipop with a long lasting, tasty gum. But yeah, and then the rumors. This was, I don't know even how rumors spread back then because this was before AOL. So like, it was the rumor that they gave you cancer. Did that?
Oh yeah, the blue dye. For us, it was the red dye was what I heard. But like, my mom was very anti food coloring in food, and
which is wild now because you use so much food color.
But that's why, because I'm like, fuck you, bitch.
This is my
Wait, also you're drinking a juice box as we're talking. Let's just be clear about that.
This is all intentional. Shout out to Whole Foods. That's the age I'm at. I drink Whole Foods. Organic watermelon strawberry juice boxes. Yeah, it was you just had to have that blue tongue. That was a symbol.
Yeah, I remember it was like kind of similar with popsicles, I feel like in the summer.
Right.
Like when you would get the popsicles that were in like the bag or like the push.
Like the freeze pops?
Yeah, like the freeze pops. You would I would always like you would go for the colored ones, like red or blue was always the one that like made your tongue a cool color.
Okay, and I know this is adjacent to the subject matter, but like give me best and worst freeze pop flavor.
Ooh, I'm a grape flavor person. I love grape. Mm-hmm. So I was always, but I know people hated grape. And so I was always like, grape is fine, but grape was my favorite for sure.
Grape was a solid choice.
Yeah.
I was more that green apple.
Oh, yeah. Everybody likes green apple. Everybody likes green apple. I was never that into it as a flavor in general. Like to this day.
I don't even know if it was apple at that point, but it was whatever green lime.
Lime.
Lime was everything in the 90s, whether it was Ecto Cooler or just clothes that I wear. Lime green took off in the 90s.
Oh shit, that's so true in terms of clothing in the 90s.
Everywhere.
I forgot that there was like a real neon element.
So the whole 93 through 98 everything was about neon or lime green.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking I feel like I saw for some reason I saw a Cisco video recently.
Yeah, his original group, Drew Hill, they wore a lot of lime green, and it was Puff Daddy with the shiny suits. It was just whatever it was like looked like could give you cancer. Was
exactly. Oh yeah. Okay, here it is. It's like Cisco with his like silver hair phase.
Mm-hmm.
Did a lot of like neon red.
If it wasn't shiny, it wasn't shit in the 90s. That was
that's right. That fake pleather. I remember getting pants that were pleather for school dance.
Yes, Missy Elliott video.
Yeah.
It was just bombastic. That was the
We were
word.
very, I think the 90s, and again, like we've talked about this a little bit, but it's still such a like important and funny concept to come back to is like the 90s, everything was almost made to look cartoony. It was like very much about like flashy, bright things, even like
Yeah.
crossing into food and like
Blue
snacks.
Red, and everything was exclamation points. I think the
Yes.
official name was Blue Razz, like, and it
Yeah.
had 2 exclamation points. Like, this is extreme
It's
sports. Inline
RAZZ with
skating.
2 Z's. And I've brought up like in that era, the way that they like just like do you remember the green ketchup and purple ketchup? Yeah. Like that, I'm pretty sure they also, I think they were doing that with toothpaste at one point.
Yeah, the appeal to kid. There was I think it was Crest is when they
Yeah.
started having kids flavored bubble gum.
Yeah.
It was a sign of the time. Motherfuckers was rich for no reason. The Clintons, everything was excess.
Yeah.
Stock market's going
100%.
crazy. I wish they had
Well,
Robin Hood in '94. Like, I would be so fucking.
Yeah.
Any
I
stock.
know. Well, capitalism was like, I mean, people were like really fucking with it hard. I mean, we fuck with it hard now, but like people had like very little regulation. And this was also pre all these like food regulations too, where they like started a lot of like our favorite childhood snacks have either been discontinued or recreated, not because they didn't sell well, but because they had like all these lawsuits that were like, you can't call fruit snacks fruit. You can't say there's fruit in them. There's no
Yeah.
fruit.
Those damn. It was what was the long tape attached
Fruit
to
by the foot.
Fruit by the foot is not food. It's not food.
No.
But it's
No.
it's not even fruit.
It's not. They like, I think it was Welch's that got sued for doing and they have superior fruit snacks, by the way. Their fruit snacks were in high demand.
Yeah, I would give it to them. But that was also the introduction of like alternate spellings. And we thought it was cool, but it was really legally you couldn't spell it Fruit. You had to spell it Froot because what is that?
Yes, that's such a fucking good point.
It was like alternate. Even KFC now, it can't be Kentucky Fried Chicken because it's not chicken. These are all legal loopholes for
100%
trash.
Most of the ice cream that you see, I mean, like Breyers, like any of the major ice cream brands, for the most part, it says frozen dessert.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, if there's some sort of like especially if it's like low fat or like something like that, it says frozen dessert on it because it's not actually ice cream.
All the everything with cheese was CHEEZ instead of what cheese really is to get around. We never tried to say this was. It reminds me of Kevin Lee's joke. Like, Kevin, you told me this was real cheese. I never said it was real cheese. I said it was cheese adjacent.
Everything was like adjacent. There was no. I mean, like my mom was very much like, no, we're not giving into this. My mom was gonna go to law school to be one of those like moms that sued the government for not disclosing nutritional information, which was like
your mom's native Jersey.
Yeah, my mom's native.
Like Aaron Brockovich, like cheetah print bra and
No, absolutely not. We're talking like Jewish through and through.
Okay.
Grew up in Livingston, like very just like she was like the whitest woman.
Oh, okay.
Like of white women, but like had like an art flair. So she like appreciated the arts and like she's like very liberal, former hippie, but like very like, just, I mean, going to school.
Got that dash of flair, a little blue razz
Exactly. Well, it's like all of her friends that she went to college with were like her friends throughout, were like all my second parents. And they were all like former hippies. And most of them were artists by trade. So like they were full-time like painters or builders of some
But
sort.
Jewish, so there's some money there. It wasn't just like
There,
doing it for art's sake.
Yeah, it's interesting because like my mom, and I feel like she'll be fine with me sharing this because she has before, but like my dad wasn't Jewish. And so my mom's family like initially had some money and she cut off like the financial ties with her parents because they didn't support her marrying my dad initially.
Damn, that's
And
privilege.
I know.
You gonna cut off money? I'm like Chris Rock did. It's like that's privilege. How you gonna cut off money?
Because it was like there were so many strings attached, and so she like, and then I guess like my grandpa like gave it all to his ex-wife, and so there was like nothing left. I know. I was like, dude, we could have been rich. Like, fucking get it together. Like, I would have taken the money. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'll sit down for Shabbat. I don't give a fuck.
I'll climb it all the way to the bank.
I will play the game. If we're talking about real estate in New York City, I will play the fucking game.
Manhattan's the only borough I've never lived in. And that's just because it's the most expensive.
The amount of people that I know that whose parents or like generations above them owned property in Manhattan and then moved because they were like done with the city is infuriating.
You know, I just, and it's a big thing with comedy. Like I don't judge anybody who's in comedy with money. Like that's just so weird to me. Like, you know, having to pretend to not have it is crazy. Like there's something funny in everything. Just be you. If you came for money, talk about that. Shout out to the comics who could just be like, yeah, I came for money, but my shit was still fucked up. Like it's not like I just want to hear that story.
Yeah, everybody has their shit, but then, you know, which is fine. And I agree with you 100%. Like, I don't hate, people get weird about like, I mean, people are weird about money in general, but it's like, you definitely can't change what you came from.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's levels to it. Like I'm a Black comic that went to college. There's privilege in that. There's privilege in, you know, I went away to college to a private college.
Shout out to Morehouse.
Yeah, you know all about it. That's what we're working our way up to. Shout out Morehouse College. Yeah, so, and you just got to find the funny in it. And then look, every Rome I ain't gonna kill in. You got to be able to accept that part too. Like everybody ain't ready for this Stephen Sondheim shit or this I took ballet in high school shit. So, you know, once you can get comfortable with, yo, if I killed everywhere, there's something, I'm either being hack or pandering or something. And
I love that.
I ain't gonna kill everywhere. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I've gotten to a place I think now where it's like I'll watch comics who I see kill everywhere and they're just like crushers. And there was a long time where I really wanted to be that. And then it was like, I got to be who I am. And who I am is sometimes like people are really not into it. And that's okay because the people that are not going to find that sort of comedy in the people that kill in a different way.
Exactly. Especially since now, you know, if you're a purist, like you have to dig deep because everybody, including with Instagram and Twitter and memes and TikTok, feel it's funny, right? And like everybody can do that surface level shit. So I have to do second and third level audits to make sure that this isn't a 60,000 reshared tweet. This thing that I did think of. Yes. I did think of this, but it's like, how can I make it more specific? Because if you thought of it and it's funny, it's probably already done. So
that is so true. And it's something that like I've started to talk about more and more because I literally just told a joke on stage the other night and I tagged it in the moment. And I was like, I feel like I have heard this tag before.
You're like,
I was like, it's funny. And so there was a comic that had like, I really thought this comic had a similar joke that had that tag. And so I reached out to her and I was like, I was like, I just want to be clear. Like, I mean, you just have to do this kind of thing now. You just have to check in and be
Yeah.
like, hey, like, and so I was just like, do you have this tag? Like, did I think of this? Or, and she was like, no, I'm not doing that joke. That's not my tag. But it's like, here's the thing. It like with TikTok and shit like that, somebody thought of it. So like this whole concept, joke
or they
stealing.
might have just took your shit and made it go viral.
Yeah. And I mean, like,
took your shit or somebody else's.
there has to be a level of acceptance too, because like this idea of joke thievery, I mean, it's real, but it's also, we do have parallel experiences. We do tend to think the same things are funny. We do have I think I talked to so many comics now. I think it was very different when I started. It was very much like people were like really like on Carlos Mencia's dick and like tracking down joke thieves.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think people have to just be more chill about it.
It's amazing. You see the transition of people, something coming out and people being so anti, and now they're trying front face camera and just like, weren't you the one who was like, fuck this shit and like fuck everybody who does it? Like, I never was anti TikTok. I just didn't see my place in it, because I had the old school thoughts of just like, like I would have did Second City improv like out the gate. But these older comics was just like, man, fuck that. And they would just, and other homophobic things that they would say about it that I won't repeat. But like, man, I could be Chris Redden right now if I didn't have these bad influences.
It's so funny. I remember talking to Chris and being like, wow, he's so brave to do something.
And then he has the audacity to come to two black dudes and apologize to me for not being as good as he should be. And I'm just like, it's okay. And now I don't even have his number no more. So, hey.
I know. It's so funny. I remember talking to him at the Laugh Factory and he's like, yeah, Second City. And I was like, I mean, that's not cool, but.
Yeah. Okay. Keep at it, bro. I'm about to go ahead and but keep
know
that thing that you're trying to do.
Exactly. It's like, it's really, I mean, it really is hard to evolve with. It's harder than I thought it would be to evolve with the times and the trends and like what people are doing now and like what makes sense, because comedians specifically, I think, have these like we develop these like really strong, what we think are morals and ideas around our craft. And so anything that threatens that, we just decide is bad.
We create these boxes only to be told to think outside of the box. But we create all these like parameters, and it's really just like, it's really hate. It's really just like stifling. Or, we want to make it as difficult for you as possible, just so when people turn 60 and 70, now we want to give them a special. And it's just like, why couldn't I get it when I was thriving? Well, because that's a threat to people. So it's just like, all right, now that you're old, like now we want to give you flowers. And
Are you talking about Earthquake?
I'm talking about, absolutely. You see the tweets? I be going in on that shit. Oh, and I love that he does have it now. And Earthquake is not somebody who was struggling as a working comedian, but like he's been this funny since 1991. Why are we now to say like, oh, you deserve to get, and life expectancy, especially for a black comic, a black artist, period, is already low. 60, 65 we expect it to pass. So like, why do we wait so damn long to shine that? Because everyone that I talk to that pops or makes it is just so threatened because they feel like it can only be one at a time. But
because
the case now.
No, and that's like, because that's the mentality, and nobody wants to help their peers. They want to help someone where it feels like a charitable act.
And it's the same thing with women comics, I'm sure, where it's just like, like my biggest look have come from white women comics. My biggest looks. And that shouldn't be the case. Or
Yeah.
just women, period. You know, like you couldn't tell me my first writing gig wouldn't be from another Black comic that I respect and worked with. No, it came from a non-comic woman. My
Yeah.
first TV HBO thing was a white woman comic. My first trying to think any big thing. It hasn't come from another Black male comic like, yo, you killing it, you work hard, you doing your shit. Let me put you in a position. I look at it like I grew up in church. So I look at it like the fish parable. Well, like I've been given plenty of fish by older Black male comics, but I was never taught how to fish. So I could go fish myself and go eat. Like, my manager. I finally signed with Avalon. Did that come from another old Black comic being like, yo, check out my dude? No, it came from a white woman who kind of put two pieces together. So, and that's not the shit. I get it. I get insecurity. It permeates through our business. But you don't become a legend by keeping everything to yourself. You become a legend because I put this person on, put this person on, put this person on. And as far as their career goes, then they can always point back to me and say, hey, that person gave me a shot, gave me an opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, and then my close friends and I, like, when, we're talking about like career stuff, like really stand by the mantra, like, what is for you will always be for you.
Always.
So it's like me giving an opportunity, like whether it's like giving a booking email or like putting in a good word for someone or whatever, like that is not going to take away from whatever I'm supposed to get.
It's not. It's not at all. It's not at all. Let me ask you this question. And I know this is about Blue Razz, but
okay.
How do you feel? What's your immediate reaction, or how do you treat friends or peers when they get something that's gonna make them pop? Like, do you give them space? Do you lean in like, hey, we gotta, talk? Because I always give people space whenever like they get SNL or they get a special or something like that. I give them space to be famous and brand new. And then if they still come back to me, cool. But I'm not like going to assume that they're going to still be the same person.
Yeah, I have the same attitude and like I process it differently, I think, with each person, but I generally try to like make sure that they know that I will be there if they want me to be and they have my support and my happiness for them. But I don't think I've ever been like, let's collab as much as like, I think like I just have such a fear that I would be seen that way. Like now, like knowing as many people as we know, like either on or in the room at SNL, I like, everyone's like, oh, you should go hang out. And I feel weird, like being like, hey, should I come? Because I don't want people to think that I'm trying to get something. It almost like it's such a weird process. I just, because I also empathize. Like I can't handle the amount of text messages that I get, and I barely get, you know what I mean? In comparison to the kind of shit when someone pops, everyone is so hard on their dick and also watching to see if they change.
I just give you that room. I give you that room.
Yeah.
Because there's so much output, and I think it was Jared Logan that was talking about like the amount of output we put into comedy. It's a privilege to be a comedian.
Yeah.
And to be able to go to different cities and not get paid. I remember I took a megabus to Cleveland just to watch Dion do a Ramon Rivas show.
Yeah.
And like it cost me $100 just to go, and it was an investment because he saw that and he was just like, because after the show, because Ramon was driving him around, And he was taking me to the bus depot. He's like, "Oh, where you about to go?" I'm like, "I'm getting on the bus back." He's like, "Oh man, you came all the way to Cleveland just to watch me?" That's my Dion impression.
Great. Love it.
And I was like, yeah, but it was like, because, and it's sacrificing too, because I haven't had kids for that reason, so I can be available to this thing.
Yep.
So whatever, man. Like, yeah, whatever friends I work with, started with, you get that thing that you feel like is the big thing. I give you some room to be an ass, basically, and embarrass yourself possibly a little bit. But I'm always there on the congratulations tip.
Yeah, same. And it's like, I mean, like, I don't know what I don't know what that experience is like. And so I'm not going to like pretend to, I don't know. Like, my expectations go out the window, and I'm just like, again, it goes back to like, what is for me will always be for me. So it's like me trying to attach myself to someone that I know that got something is not going to increase the chances of
people
getting
know
what
who
I
my
want.
friends are. People know who my friends are. And Will, Kitty, whenever they do something, motherfuckers know I ain't too far behind. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's just been established, and that's what it is. These are my friends, good or bad, better or for worse, cancel or no cancel. And those are my guys. Private text or no private text. These are my guys, man. And that's just what it's going to be. And we have to check in, because also, going back to the kid thing, it's different. I have to respect, he's a husband and a dad first now. Kenny is a fiance first now. I'm still available.
You're still hanging?
No matter what, I'm still hanging. And I have to be careful of that too, because, as I have to be respectful of what I do and be mindful of what I do, because it does reflect on them too, or people who I consider friends. It's just, you just have to constantly be aware of things in this business.
For sure. No, I totally agree with you. I mean, look, all right, I'll bring it back to Blue Razz now, but I just want to say, if you got to experience this conversation in this podcast, you're very lucky.
We dropping jewels.
Exactly.
And
bottom line is,
you're Libra?
Virgo? No, I'm a Sag.
Sag. That's what I was gonna guess. Yeah.
What are you? You're wait, I knew it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a couple true and false questions that you will have to guess for Blowpops / Blue Razz. And so we'll see if you know your stuff. Okay. Here's the first one. Blowpops were originally named Triple Treats.
I will go false on that.
It's true.
True. What's the third? You got the
I have no idea.
What's the third thing?
I literally have no idea. They used to be called, like, it passed through different companies, but they used to be called the Triple Treat.
I got to find out what the third thing could be.
I know. It's the stick, maybe, because that always was like, that was something I personally partook in as a child.
But it's still the candy of the gum. I did chew on the stick, but there was no treat. That was just thirst. That was my thirst.
I loved it. You would unwrap it so you could see like the actual paper. I was a paper eater as a kid. I was a pencil chewer.
Yeah, I did have that asphyxiation on chewing things. Ice. Did you chew ice?
Chewed ice. I chewed everything. The oral fixation was such an issue for me. I mean, when I ate Blowpops, it was so rare that I got to the middle without crunching. I crunch everything.
I'm sorry. Was that loud? Oh, let me turn off that thing.
You're fine.
Anyway, yeah, we'll fix it. We'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post. I'm not going to cut it out, but we'll fix it. I mean, it just shows you're popular, which is all
Yeah.
the more reason to continue listening.
Yeah.
But
I know a few things.
but yeah, did you like get all the way through to the lollipop, or were you like a chewer?
I never like sucked it all the way to the gum. I would go in early.
Right.
Midway through.
But
Like
to
I
your
need that
point,
initial hit, that
yeah,
that initial green apple hit or that initial
yeah,
bluegrass hit, and then I'm going because the gum I felt like mixed with the candy of the it had to mix it, or there was no
yeah.
flavor. Like the candy had to the crystals or whatever had to mix with the and you're a crystals person, I know. But they had to mix together. So I would bite in pretty early.
Yeah. And I think, but to your point earlier about how the gum was horrific quality, it was like bazooka gum quality, which to me is terrible.
It's no
Um,
flavor there. I was in it
no.
for the comic strips.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like if they could have put Bubblicious gum, which to me was like one of my faves, if they could put
Hmm.
Bubblicious gum in the center of a blow pop, that would have fucked me up so hard. Like it
I
would have
mean, even
changed my
Big
life.
Red had more flavor than the gum of, and
Yes.
I would chew the shit out of some Big Red gum. If they could
Yeah.
put that in a sucker, then yeah.
Ooh, like a cinnamon sucker that has like a gum. Okay, I mean they should do that. That's a fucking good idea.
I didn't even, and it rolls off the cinnamon sucker. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so here's your next question. We have Blow Pops are Charms Candy's best-selling candy of all time.
Blow
True or
Pops
false?
Charms best selling candy of all time. I will go true.
It's true. You're totally right. I
Yeah.
forgot. I wouldn't have thought. I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have thought of charms as being associated with it, but for some reason, do you remember that commercial that was like, that's a blow pop from the 90s? That was like Charms Blow Pop, take one in the beginning.
That there like in the recesses of my brain, like I'm going to
Yeah.
Ghost Rider commercials, I'm going to Malibu. What was the California Dreams? I'm
Yeah.
thinking about those commercials, Saturday cartoons. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's vaguely familiar.
Well, it like had kids in it. So it was like obviously for kids. Also, the episode of Ghost Rider that I remember so vividly is the one where it was like the giant monster made out of bubble gum. You remember that?
I remember that one. I remember that one.
I always remember it because they had to chew the gum, and I think it was great. They had to chew the gum in order to like help like stave off like the monster, and I was like, this is great. I'm in.
There was some dark Ghost Rider episodes.
There really
There was
were.
a kid missing one time.
Oh
There was always somebody
yeah.
missing. Like somebody was like, where the fuck is Busy?
I know. That was a good episode. Okay, yeah, it was a purple monster. I just Googled it. It was a purple monster made of bubble gum that they had to chew. So good.
That's wild.
Um
Somebody grandma
it's
died from diabetes one time. I'm like, damn, what you doing, bro?
they really did go hard. They were like, here's some fun, bright shit, and then now we're gonna like lay the hammer
Yeah,
down.
we're gonna get you ready for teenagerdom. I get you
Exactly.
12, but this is what's coming.
Exactly. Okay, so here's one you might like. Apple blow pops used to be shaped like an apple. True or false?
Sour apple blow pops used to be shaped like an apple. I'm gonna go. I mean, because they kind of are an orb, but I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
I mean
false. I'm gonna say false.
it's true actually. I don't know why they did that, but they for some reason decided that they had like a short period of time where they were like, let's make it shaped like a
Like an
fucking
apple. Okay. No
They
stem.
were like, let's make it extra round
Mm.
and shape it like an apple. Yeah. I mean, it was a dumb idea. And then they've changed, blow pops have changed shape over time. They're now like significantly bigger, which I think was the smartest route.
Did you guys have bonbon candies in Jersey? They were like
Bonbon?
these sour apple things that were shaped like apples too. Just sugar. And it would be a friend of mine used to sell these, and that was like his hustle. He used to trap
No,
bonbons.
you know what's so funny is Nick and I were at World Market and he brought up bonbons because his sister's like favorite candy as a kid was like, were these bonbons. Like, and I
Yeah,
was like, I'd never fucking seen them in my life. And they're very good.
yeah. They were so sweet and delicious, and he would just trap them for like 50 cents a pack, I think.
Oh
And
shit.
yeah, it was a major thing. He was the only supplier, so like he had like a monopoly. Like, nobody knows. This wasn't like where the catalog thing. He was the only one who had these things, so it
That's
was
so
brilliant. But I can't find them.
that's yeah, I mean, I don't feel like they're incredibly common, but you're the second person from the Midwest that has brought them up, so who fucking knows?
Yo,
Um,
Detroit, where Nick is from, they are we have a specific thing capital. Like people get on
that's so
Chicago,
funny.
I think like no, we have vintners, we have red pop first, we have
Right.
this crack. Like they're very like like branding is very big for Detroit kids.
Yeah, conies, like the
Company
specifics that
dogs.
Nick introduced me to, which by the way, I'm a huge coney hater. I think they're so
Really,
fucking disgusting. Yeah.
I'm not a big anything like can't like the sweet stuff. I'll give Detroit too, but anything entree wise, Detroit, I'm okay. Pizza, coney dog, like no,
Yeah. No,
none.
I agree. Detroit pizza, I don't care about. I don't need cheddar cheese on my pizza. I don't want you to dump chili on literally anything that I
Anything,
eat.
anything like that.
And so I don't need any of that. But yeah, the sweet stuff, I'm like, okay, I can.
Yeah, vintners. I'm a. Hey, thank you, Detroit, for that
Yeah.
ginger ale, sweet ginger ale pop.
Oh my God. Yeah. And they also had Canada right across like the way. So they could get some of the more fun Canadian snacks and treats
True,
also,
true.
which was good. So like I know Nick had like the Canadian, well, it wasn't like Canadian dry. I don't know. He's gonna get mad that I forgot the name, but it's like Canadian something. Maybe he'll hear.
And they had I know Canada, their chips, what the ketchup chips,
Yes, Crispers.
crispers, yeah, like there was like a little
Ketchup
bit of
chips.
crossover with that. And it sounded disgusting, but it doesn't
Mhm.
taste like it sounds. So when I
Oh,
finally tried ketchup, I'm like, oh, these are fucking delicious.
I
Any
mean,
snacks is I'll give it
I
straight on the snack side.
ketchup like flavored chips are so fucking good. Who would have
It's
known?
ridiculous. I wouldn't have known, but a couple Canadians put me onto it, and
Same.
oh yeah,
Same.
take
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, so here's the last true or false question that we have. It is the most popular flavor is watermelon.
Of the Charms Blow
Yeah,
Pops,
of
watermelon.
Charms
I
Blow
gotta
Pops.
go. I gotta say cap on that. No, that's false.
Damn, you're right. It's blue raz.
It's Blue Raz. It took off. I mean, by the box.
Yeah.
Look, Mothers was pulling up with the boxes, and you would just buy for $5. I think back then. That's how old I am. It was like $5 for a
For the
5.
box.
Yeah, for a box, and it got so popular they had to ban it because the schools had a deal with the catalog candy. You know where you could buy like a
Oh,
telescope with
yeah.
8,000 almond bars and world famous. Um, like yeah, we had the world famous catalog, so you couldn't. They didn't want it any competition. They almost
Yeah.
ended world famous sales.
So they deprived you of one of the best candies, in my
Capitalism.
opinion.
Capitalism. You know how to work. Yeah,
There you go.
Blue razz under the table.
Well, they didn't turn out too bad, which is nice. Okay, so I want to get into fuck, marry, kill, Polly. So to explain, you're familiar with fuck, marry, kill, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna do this with all snacks. The Polly option is whatever you choose to marry. You can choose a Polly edition that will then be. It's like a deeper connection than just a fuck, but it's also like they're not your primary. You can like see them as often or as not often as you want.
Okay. I like that.
So, yeah. So I'll give you 4 choices. Yeah. I give you 4 choices and you get to choose. Okay. So here are our different categories. We've got after school snacks. We've got on the couch at home.
On the couch.
And then we have pure sugar.
Pure sugar. The rush. Okay.
Yes. And so, okay. So I'll start with after school snacks. So here are your choices for fuck, marry, kill, Polly. We've got fruit by the foot, which we mentioned. Fruit spelled FROO. Hostess cupcakes.
Hostess cupcakes.
Are plain goldfish, like the cheddar goldfish.
Okay.
And then a honey bun.
Oh my God. Like the very thought of it, of hearing the ASMR of a honey bun just sent a little chill through my body. So I think that's fuck, obviously. Fuck.
Yeah.
Honey bun. Kill goldfish because I like them, but I could do without goldfish.
Sure.
And then the other 2 were the
Hostess cupcakes and fruit by the foot.
And fruit by the foot. I would marry Hostess cupcakes.
Oh.
Yeah, I would poly out fruit by the foot because it's like I could eat a whole fruit by the foot because it's not or fruit. I could
the fake fruit.
Yeah, it always was like, okay, what else you got? No.
Right. They're not very filling. I did buy a box of them fairly recently, not like in the immediate, but I was like, I want to see. And the paper got in the way. It was very little like actual satisfaction. It was so fucking like it just incredibly thin. I had a lot of problems with it.
The most exciting part was the unravel.
Yeah.
It wasn't even eating it because what I would do is I would take a whole wad and just like ball it up in my mouth.
Yeah.
And like de-juice it. It wasn't even.
Did you wrap it around the finger? Did you do that one?
I may have done that a couple times, but it was mostly about the texture of it, de-juicing it. And sometimes I wouldn't even eat the actual fruit by the foot. I would just de-juice it in my mouth and then poly it out with a honey bun just as a cleanser.
Okay, so we've got kill the goldfish, fuck the honey bun, marry the hostess cupcakes, and poly with the fruit by the foot.
Yes. Let me ask you this while we're on that note, before we move on. What was a better unravel? Fruit by the foot or the cinnamon, the cinnamon cakes? Did you just bite into those or did you unravel it?
I unraveled. I did a combo. I was like, once I understood, for some reason, I have like, I was like, okay, I have to like get a feel for what this unraveling is like. And then I also have to have like a proper bite, quote unquote.
Yeah. Okay. I think because it came in a 2-pack, I would unravel one. And then the second one, it would just be full on, just bite into the middle of it.
You got to switch it up. I mean, out of these choices, I would probably kill. I would probably kill the fruit by the foot, if I'm being honest, just
Okay.
because I feel like it is the most useless to me. I would fuck the honey bun because it's too sweet for normal engagement. I would
Yeah.
actually, I don't even like goldfish that much, and I don't even like Hostess cupcakes that much, but I would marry the
Mm,
Hostess cupcakes because it's a good balance. And
okay.
then I would poly with the goldfish because you need like savory and sweet, in my opinion. And to be honest, I would probably be a pretty absent wife for both of these because it's just not something I can see myself being incredibly invested in.
You gotta have a
But
sister wife for the goldfish. Like somebody else, lay it out. I'll
somebody,
eat it, but somebody else gotta lay it out for gotta open that wrapper up or whatever you're gonna do.
yeah, I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. I'll, a quick hello, goodbye. But I mean, I wouldn't be like excited to kill the fruit by the foot, but like I just think it would need to go until it's remade into something that is more sustainable and
There was
doesn't
also
need to.
they need more flavors. There was only one flavor. It was only red.
Well, they came up recently. They came up with pink starburst flavored.
Ooh,
It's not that good. Don't get too excited.
it's not good. How
I
can you
tried
fuck
it.
that up?
I know because it's so thin. And part of what's great about Starburst is that they're thick and you bite into them and there's like all of that chewiness.
Like that thick-thighed white woman who was at
Exactly.
the gay man swore I was chasing. I'm like, man, dang,
Exactly.
how to get me kids up here? My side. I know my limits.
Uh, okay, so here's the next category on the couch at home. These are just kind of throwing out whatever. Okay, so we've got Garrett's popcorn mix, which I don't know. You're obviously Chicago through and through, but I don't know if you fuck with the Garrett's.
I don't love caramel popcorn.
There you go. Okay, interesting. Bad choice, but interesting. We've got Garrett's popcorn mix, barbecue Lay's potato chips, Snyder's of Hanover honey mustard pretzel bites,
Oh my God.
and flaming hot Cheetos.
Kill everything except flame hot Cheetos.
Really?
But, yeah, I don't like pretzel anything. I don't like pretzel. I don't like pretzel.
Interesting.
And funny, I was just on a little road trip with some comics talking about pretzels. And first of all, anybody who eats plain pretzels is just, what the fuck? Like weird. They kept kind of like trying to switch it up. Like, yeah, but dip it in. I'm like, yeah, dip it in something maybe, but like pretzels altogether is a kill for me.
Wow. Interesting. Strong opinion.
So fuck Flaming Hot Cheetos, obviously.
Okay.
What was the stone that you gave me that would lead to more sex? I forgot which one it was.
Barbecue Lay's potato chips.
No, but you had gave me a stone.
Oh,
after your show.
Holly.
What was the name of the stone that you gave me?
Fuck. I can't remember.
It was like a dark quartz.
Like the crystal. It might have been, I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. But okay. So just to stick to the rules of the game. So I'm fucking Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Great.
I'm going to marry the barbecue Ruffles. They got to be Ruffles too. I don't like.
No,
plain.
it's Lay's. It's Lay's.
So that's plain.
No, it's barbecue Lay's potato chips. So it's not
It's not wavy. It's not wavy.
No, it's not wavy.
Oh Lord.
Sorry.
What was the first one?
Garrett's popcorn.
Okay, I'll marry Garrett's popcorn.
Okay.
I'll marry Garrett's because you can get it without the caramel. You can just do
just the cheese.
The cheese, yeah. And then so I'm killing the pretzel. I guess I gotta be poly with the Lay's then.
Yeah. I mean, look, barbecue Lay's potato chips have like an incredibly strong following. I actually think, and don't quote me on this, but I do think that's their most popular flavor.
Yeah, I'll go poly with that because I can't eat those. If I have a turkey sandwich,
Yeah.
like something else to go with it, I'm a
Okay.
big, I can do any chips with
Interesting.
a turkey sandwich.
I'm like a sit down with a bag of chips person, which is why for me, I've had a lot of people on who have been like, yeah, plain Lay's potato chip is delicious. I'm like, that's the most disgusting thing you could have ever said.
It's like, oh, you're in the car. I forgot I had these unopened bag of Lay's chips. It's
If
never the
you
first choice.
No, it's the leftover after a party. It's like the thing where someone's like, the host is like, hey, do you want any of this? And you look and you see, and it's plain Lay's potato chips. And you're like, no, I don't want your fucking plain
Yeah.
potato chips.
Out of nostalgia, and you bring that up, I may go and buy a party pack of chips
You should.
and just get some Cool Ranch, plain Lay's,
Yes.
and just live it out like it's 94.
Yeah, Cool Ranch. I mean, Cool Ranch Doritos are classic. You mentioned Ruffles. I love Ruffles. Like the sour
Yeah.
cream and cheddar Ruffles are one of the most classic chips that exist.
Yep.
They're
It's my go-to.
untouchable.
I'll do that. Like at Mrs. Submarine, the popular sub place in Chicago, I'll
Yeah.
do that over fries.
Oh yeah.
Like, say fries and chips. Give me the Ruffles the
Cheddar
wing,
and sour cream.
cheddar and sour cream over anything, over French fries. Which
Yeah.
is,
No, that'll sway me. That'll sway me for sure.
Yeah. Sure.
I think for me, I would marry Garrett's. I like the mix. I think it's ideal scenario personally. So I would marry Garrett's. I would fuck the flaming hot Cheetos because I just feel like you can't do too much, but you got to get it where you got to get it in at least once. And I would kill the barbecue Lays. And then I would poly with the Snyder's of Hanover honey mustard pretzels because those are fucking good. And I'm a pretzel person. I don't eat them often, and I don't necessarily eat plain pretzels, but I will.
Nah, nothing about a pretzel excites me ever in any
The
scenario.
saltiness.
Never. No.
God damn. Well, I mean, agreed. I have actually never talked to anyone who hates pretzels that much, but it's interesting. So, I mean,
I'm sweet
good
over
for you.
savory though. I'm sweet to the core.
I am too. I'm glad. There's been many a person that is not, but I'm sweet over. Well, it's interesting. You're sweet over savory, but you don't like caramel popcorn.
It's something about it. Popcorn by itself is a thing for me.
Right.
Like to mess with the original is kind of weird. Like the only salt I'll go bar none, fuck, marry, kill, poly, give it to me however you can give it to me is salt and vinegar.
Oh, okay.
Salt and vinegar chips, forget about it.
I hate them. They cut up the roof of your mouth.
I don't care, but it's the process, and I trust it.
I mean, I understand. I'm just so big. Texture fucks me up so hard, and the vinegar part. I love vinegar.
The what? The what part?
The vinegar part.
Oh, there was like a lag. There was a lag when you said it.
No.
I don't know what podcast gods you pissed off, but just now, when you said vinegar, the first syllable, there was a drop.
No.
So I only heard the second two syllables, and I was
like, now I never want to say that word.
What did you just say to me?
I know. I was like, what? The vinegar part. I hate it. Oh my God. Wow.
And I ain't just saying that for joke's sake. I ain't saying it for comedy's sake. It really dropped. I did not hear the V part.
No, that's so okay. Well, obviously, that's not true.
I know, but you say this so casually. I was like, did I miss something? Did I miss because I often miss cultural updates.
Oh my God. Imagine if that is not a cultural update that will ever.
Is this like the black facial masks where it's okay?
Oh my God. Wow. I mean, I hope it doesn't lag in the recording. We'll see. If it does, I like, if it does, I actually don't know what the better thing to do is, bleep it or just let it go.
Just put in a text message ding. Like,
that says, hey, by the way.
No, the new sheriff is a ding text message.
But then it seems like I intentionally said it. So like now I don't even know how to play it.
Vinegar. Damn.
The vinegar. I'm like, how can I pronounce vinegar differently? There's no way. Anyway, I'm never having anyone on this podcast that ever brings that up again. I can't risk it.
Vinegar.
Okay, so the last, if I did, actually, that would be worse. That would be so much weirder if I, for some reason, just on the chance that it got cut off. I
don't even want to say vinegar anymore because I can't say vinegar without hearing it now.
I know it's not right. It's not right.
You're like,
I mean, I'm gonna walk around with this. I've been walking around with this all day.
I've been trying to not say it.
Okay, so we're gonna do the last category. Moving on from everything. This is why savory is bad. This is like literally why savory is bad. Name me a sweet treat that could be misconstrued for that word. Actually, don't think about it. Okay. So here's the last one, pure sugar. So these are all candies that are essentially pure sugar. We have, and this is like a challenge somewhat of interest. So we've got red vines, Twizzlers, Starburst, and Pixie Sticks.
Man, I knew Pixie Sticks was going to be in there.
I mean, it's pure sugar.
Off top, as we pre-discussed, Starburst is the fuck because pink, red, no orange or yellow. Like the odds.
Sure.
I hate. I'll take a lemon, but orange Starburst, suck my dick.
No, I love orange Starburst.
I can't do orange. I do lemon, and most people hate lemon, but I like lemon.
I love lemon. I love all the flavors.
Kill Pixie Sticks.
Okay, fair.
Kill Pixie Sticks. Marry Twizzlers.
Yes. Yes.
Twizzlers. And I'm glad Sweetest Fish wasn't in the mix.
Those are bad.
They're disgusting. And then I guess I'll have to poly out with red vines.
Wow, a double licorice.
Yeah, I love licorice.
I do too. Do you like black licorice?
No, it's the only black thing I don't like.
I am an enthusiast for black licorice. I'll talk about it on any podcast I'm on. I think it tastes great, but I understand it's polarizing.
It is very much, yeah. Like, I just can't do it. Can't do it.
Have you had the chocolate Twizzlers though?
No.
Oh,
I haven't even heard of it.
Yes. I don't know exactly. I don't know when or where they sell them consistently, but every now and then they're on the bottom rack always. They sell chocolate Twizzlers. They're brown. They taste like kind of chocolatey. It tastes like kind of like a better Tootsie Pop or Tootsie Roll.
Yeah. Anything like in any way that you modify Tootsie Roll, automatically better. Because Tootsie Roll by itself is so disgusting that but this, yes. You changed it in any way? Yes. I agree. I'll take it different. Yeah.
I fully agree. I think Tootsie Rolls are truly the disgusting. However, I like the fruit flavored ones.
Yeah. Give me any modification. Yes.
Okay.
You gotta
Good.
ask. Give it to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you chose Twizzlers over Red Vines as your primary because I fight about this constantly. I'm Twizzlers through and through. I would marry the Starburst because there's variety and I'm going to need that. I would poly with the Twizzlers. I would kill the Pixie Sticks because I just can't. You
I
really
think we agreed on that, right? Yeah, we both kill it. Yeah.
I would kill Pixie Sticks. I mean, you really do grow out of it. That is a candy where, like, no matter what age, like, you can't do it at every age. You just can't.
Is Pixie Sticks and Fun Dip are synonymous, right?
They're not synonymous. The Pixie Sticks like came in like were the ones that like people would spread out like cocaine and snort, and then the Fun Dip was like you had a little dipper, and
It
that
was
was like,
it was too medicine-y for me. I never really got into it.
yeah, I like the interactive aspect, but
you like
other
projects.
than I do, I like
steps.
projects. Yeah, I like that I have to like work for it. So I liked Fun Dip for that, but I agree it didn't taste particularly good. And Pixie Sticks, like literally the only thing that I thought was fun was to like pretend to snort them.
Yeah.
So that was like, or be like, you want me to sprinkle that on your fake cigarette? Like it was so mentally ill.
The introduction into hard drugs really did a number. Like everything kind of stemmed from some sort of snack, which I get.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's also this. Everything was a cigarette as a kid.
Yeah.
I talked about that, I think, on the last podcast.
Including the stick of a blow pop.
Exactly. Literally everything that was stick shaped was a cigarette. Everything. Pretzels, like any sort of like even a Cheeto. You could, if you had a straight Cheeto.
Phallic symbols kind of was an introduction to either cigarettes, cocaine, or sucking dick.
It's true. It's as a kid, that was literally, and it's like we got through this whole podcast without ever mentioning the like girls in high school eating blow pops and what that meant.
Yeah.
And we got through the whole, we really like, but that was also such a thing where it was like, she's eating a blow pop. You know what that means. And it's like, yeah, it means she fucking likes candy.
It means she's a child. That's what it means.
It means she's a kid who's like, but yeah, I mean, like kids are so twisted. I can't imagine. You were a teacher. How old were the kids you taught?
I taught everything from like preschool to high school.
Absolutely not. I could never overhear those conversations and like have any, it would horrify me to overhear kids being who they are.
I had to get out the game at some point because the maturity of the conversations increasingly got to younger kids. Yeah. I don't even know if it's increasingly. It might have always been there, but my comfort level decreased. And I might as well be around adults legally. Yeah. Doing this.
No, I like credit to teachers who are just used to it. And they're like, yeah, these like 12-year-olds pretend they know what sex is. And it's like, I would tell them to shut up and never speak again. And like, I just could never, I don't have the patience. I would be so disturbed on a regular basis. That's all
teaching became was me telling them to stop talking. Not even because I don't like chatter. It was the conversations, the subject matter was too much, and I just couldn't take it anymore.
Well, it's hard too, because I feel like with teenagers and like kids ages like 10 and up, even younger, they just say stuff. Like we used to just say stuff And it was like, if a teacher told us to be quiet, it's like, that's fine, but I'm still going to spread a rumor that this girl had an abortion, even though she's 10.
And the kids don't even know what that means.
Yeah, they don't know
How
what they're
bad
saying.
it is. It just makes the teacher so uncomfortable that you have to say it.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
an
on
abortion
that,
is?
I know they don't. Well, on that note, let's end on abortion. That's appropriate
That's
for
how
a
everything
Snacks
ends.
podcast. I love it. Yeah, let's end it on abortion. Thank you for being on the pod. It was so fun.
So great to see you. It's been a while. Thank you for the podcast. They allow me to see in a while.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you to everybody that listened. I mean, you already have all the info up top, but do you want to plug it one more time?
Yeah, follow me on everything at the Clark Jones. THEE Clark Jones. I don't know when it's dropping, but March 15th, my Comedy Central set comes out. And I'll be on the East Coast at the beginning of April. So yeah, just follow along. That's it.
Fuck yeah. Actually, this will come out the 18th. So Comedy Central special will be out.
It'll be out.
Yay. Okay, cool. Thanks so much, Clark. You rule. Love you.
Love
Have
you too.
a good rest of your day.